All right, so get this. We are diving into some seriously juicy celeb news today.
Oh, I'm ready. Lay it on me.
Okay, remember Meagan Good and Jonathan Majors?
Of course. How could I forget?
Well, they're officially engaged.
Wow. That's huge.
I know, right? And we've got this snippet from a radio show, and they're just unpacking all the details, but like it's more than just the usual engagement stuff.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What makes this one so special?
Just wait till you hear how they met. It all started at the Ebony Power 100 Gala, of all places.
Fancy. That's a pretty swanky event to find love.
Right. But get this. They met in the bathroom.
Wait, seriously? The bathroom?
Yeah. Not exactly your typical fairy tale meet cute, right?
Definitely not your average love story. That's hilarious, actually.
I know, right? But this is where things get a little, well, this is where the radio show hosts start digging in. Especially with everything going on with Major's career lately.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He was like everywhere, right?
Totally. Lovecraft Country, Creed 3. The guy was on a roll. But then, the legal stuff happened.
Yeah, and everything just kind of stopped.
Exactly. And so now everyone, like the radio show hosts, the fans, everyone is kind of raising an eyebrow about the whole engagement thing.
I can see why. It makes you wonder about the timing of it all, especially with all the, the financial questions surrounding Majors right now.
Totally does. And then the radio show plays this clip from the gala where Good announces the engagement.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
You can practically hear her beaming. She is just radiating happiness.
Oh, that's sweet.
And they even comment on how she's like flaunting the ring.
Oh, really? Flaunting it, huh?
It makes you wonder about,
Yeah. Where did that ring come from?
Exactly. Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are reports that Good has been the one supporting Majors financially through his whole legal ordeal.
Oh, wow. Okay, that definitely adds a whole new layer to things.
Right. It kind of shifts the conversation around the engagement, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes you think about who paid for the ring and if Majors is, if he's in a position to be making such a big financial commitment right now.
That's what the radio show hosts are saying, too. They're voicing some serious concerns about whether this is, a wise decision on Major's part.
So it's like we go from celebrating their love story to dissecting their finances in the blink of an eye.
It's crazy, right? It's like everyone becomes a financial expert overnight.
It's so true. But, even with all the speculation and the concern, you can still hear the genuine joy in Good's voice when she makes that announcement.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And her support for Majors through all of this, that really says a lot about her.
It really does. It's almost like she's, defying those traditional expectations we have about, well, everything.
What do you mean?
Well, like who's supposed to be the financial provider in a relationship? Usually we see the man in that role, right?
Yeah.
But this flips the script entirely. It makes you question everything.
Okay, I am so ready to unpack all of that.
It's funny, right? Like, there's this whole money taboo thing in our society.
A money taboo.
Yeah, it's like we're not supposed to talk about money, especially when it comes to relationships.
Oh, yeah, I get it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like this big elephant in the room.
Exactly. But then we have this situation with Good and Majors, and suddenly everyone is a financial analyst. We're dissecting their bank accounts, speculating about who's paying for what.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, do we do this with, regular couples?
I don't think so. It's almost like celebrity relationships become this public spectacle.
Yeah, it's like their lives are an open book.
Right, and fans feel like they have a right to, weigh in on their decisions, especially when it comes to stuff like love and money.
It's like we forget that celebrities are real people with real feelings and real problems.
Totally. But it's also interesting, right, because the radio show hosts, they do acknowledge Good's happiness.
Oh, yeah, they definitely mentioned that.
They even talk about how she's clearly made this conscious decision to support Majors. But even then, there's this underlying concern about the whole financial imbalance thing.
It's like they can't help but speculate about what it means for their future,
Yeah, like, can a relationship really thrive if the woman is the primary breadwinner?
It makes you think about all those traditional gender roles we've been talking about.
Right. And the radio show hosts even bring up Major's career before all the legal trouble.
Like how he was on track to be a huge star.
Exactly. It's almost as if they're trying to reassure themselves or the listeners that this whole situation is just temporary.
Like once Majors is back on his feet, everything will go back to normal.
But does it need to? What if this is their normal?
Whoa, that's a good question. What if Good and Majors are perfectly happy with this arrangement?
Right. Does it really matter who's making more money as long as they're happy?
I think that's such an important point. Are we, as a society, Holding celebrities to an unfair standard. Are we projecting our own stuff onto them?
I think so. I mean, this whole situation is really making me question everything. It's about more than just Megan Good and Jonathan Majors.
It's about how we view relationships in general.
Exactly. It's about challenging those preconceived notions we have about love, money, and how all of that fits into the puzzle of a modern relationship.
Yeah, it's like we get so caught up in the numbers that we forget about the human element.
It's true. I mean, it's way easier to focus on like dollars and cents than to try and understand these complex emotions, right?
Yeah, totally. But what if good and majors are showing us that there's not just one right way to do relationships?
Right. Like, what if this whole traditional model is just one option, not the only option?
And that's pretty powerful, don't you think? Especially in a world where we're constantly being told what a successful relationship should look like.
Yeah. It's like, who gets to decide what success even means? Maybe it's time we started defining it for ourselves.
Exactly. Maybe it's more about shared values, mutual respect, that kind of stuff.
Definitely. I mean, isn't that what really matters at the end of the day?
This whole deep dive has just given me so much to think about.
Me too. It really makes you realize that we shouldn't jump to conclusions.
No, absolutely not. There's always more to the story than what we see on the surface.
And sometimes those stories that are a little different, a little unconventional, those are the ones that teach us the most.
I think you're right. So as we wrap up here, I just want to say, let's all try to be a little more open-minded, you know?
Yeah. Let's challenge those assumptions we have about love and money and relationships.
Because who knows? You might even find yourself redefining what happily ever after really means to you.